Polyform grows out of many years of experience in the building industry in the field of design and manufacture of structural precast concrete. It unlocks the hidden potential of polystyrene for use in formwork. The inventions use polystyrene as formwork for all primary components in construction, namely suspended slabs, beams, stairs, walls and columns.
This is our Polyform office, which is a prototype of the first polystructure. Our Polyform agent in Turkey took me to see the devastation caused by the earthquake in the district of Izmit. On the flight back, I was thinking about a construction system which could withstand seismic forces. I came up with walls and roof panels of polystyrene with a rebate in the middle into which is placed reinforcement and concrete. The polystyrene reduces the mass, which is important in resisting seismic forces, and the reinforced concrete ribs provide a continuous frame holding the structure together. Over several years, I arranged various tests to satisfy the requirements of the NHBRC, which are structural performance, impact test, chisel test, water penetration, condensation, thermal performance, durability, acoustics, and fire testing. The fire test done by the SABS doubled the required resistance of 30 minutes. Several years later, I used the system to construct an office for myself on our property. This was done at the builder's yard and transported by crane truck and erected on my site on a compacted platform.
Polystyrene components which are extracted from the structural drawing onto an order form are manufactured and marked at the factory and delivered onto the site. The wall and roof panels are placed on a reasonably level area on site. Reinforcement is placed in the rib formers and the ribs are concreted. Wall panels are erected in sequence together with the door and window frames and are braced at the top. The internal and external faces of the wall are plastered with a ferro-cement mix. Where a poly roof slab is specified, the roof panels are erected on a temporary support line. And polystyrene coping may be specified, which creates a feature and is also used as a stop end to the topping. The walls of polystructures can be of any shape on plan, allowing for architectural creativity. Low-income residential units can incorporate bunks accessed by a ladder for the children of a family by raising the ceiling, thus increasing occupancy at little extra cost. By incorporating a deep polystyrene coping surrounding the poly roofs, these can be used for water storage, which is particularly useful in rural communities. The slab is specially waterproofed, and an outlet pipe with a tap provides water for washing or watering the garden.
Where sheeted or tiled roofs are specified, wire ties are built into the top of the wall panels, which are fixed to the wall plates. On-site construction of polystructures uses smaller, conventional concrete footings, into the top of which polystyrene slot formers are cast. These are removed and the bottom ends of the wall panels are placed vertically into the slots. Andy Hull of Polyform has done research into the comfort level of polystructures.
Research conducted into the thermal performance of polystructures revealed that a polystructure is able to insulate heat 40% better than a similar structure constructed out of M140 blocks with a steel sheeted roof. This results in a far more comfortable living conditions which maintain warmth in winter and stay cool in summer. Further investigation revealed that in most cases, natural ventilation incorporating air bricks will be sufficient for typical smaller structures, thus removing the need for an air conditioner.
Polystructures not only satisfy the requirements of the NHBRC and are earthquake and storm resistant, but are also extremely cost effective. Now, what about our polystructures? How do our walls, the poly walls, compare with brick and block construction?
Okay, what we did there was we took a scenario where we measured a particular structure, a drawing. Firstly, we measured it as though it was a brick wall, a 230 brick wall, and then we measured the polystructure format. We took out anything common so that we were only comparing against items that were different. And what we found was a 41% saving against a 230 brick wall. The M150 block was a less of a saving, obviously, with block being cheaper than brickwork. But even on that, there was a 21% saving.
Then I also asked you to do a comparison of a poly roof slab with a sheeted roof, insulation.
We took a a Chromadeck, 0.47mm Chromadeck roof on a standard timber structure, and we measured that and we compared that against your product. We also had our roof ceiling being insulated using Isoboard as the ceiling, an insulated ceiling. So obviously that cost comes out as a saving because your product is self-insulating, as it were. So we ended up with a 44% saving.
Let me tell you a little secret. I'm not a handyman. Out of that have grown most of my inventions. I always look for methods and systems that are easy to construct, which can be done by unskilled workers. And yet in this simplicity is also cost effectiveness. Interesting enough, the first building that we're using polystructures on in the in situ format is the house for the canes. Russ, how did you first get involved with Polyform?
In 1999 there was a devastating earthquake in Turkey in which over 30,000 people lost their lives. And we went together with Wolf Binder, the engineer, and we explored the whole devastating area, and we saw a number of buildings that had been affected in their structure, and there was an interest in new building technology, particularly lightweight formwork. They use a lot of concrete slabs, etc. And it seemed an opportune time to explore a new business opportunity in a country that had experienced such devastation. And so we went over in December 1999 and made some key contacts. We also did a number of presentations to building engineers and professionals and architects. And there was a lot of interest, so much so people were interested in buying a license to use the new building technology.
Polyform plans to establish agencies throughout South Africa and into other nations.